So, I don't know what we're going to say today. This is my new crown. Got on sale. Generally, I'm having a bad hair days when I wear them. So, like, I've been trying to think of a way to masterfully deliver some really excruciating news to all of you. Now, I don't know how else to do it other than just lay it truthfully to you. Our queens are much more adept at delivering subtle messages than I am. But this one is fairly subtle, but it should be potent enough to be felt if you're vertical anyway. So I'm Mehdi. The risen Christ, the guy in Revelations on the white horse, your dad Adam, and a bunch of others as well. And there are more beings of light currently on planet Earth at one time than has ever been in previous. It's a very, very important time to be alive and to be a human being and to be in the process of the transformation from the school, the lessons we learned in the school of evil, and the good is beginning, as is promised by our God, your God, and my God. And so I'm actually, my wife is your Messiah. She's also your mama, if you may remember her. So anyway, we're bringing you back home, basically, and this is the job we're about doing. And so I need you to understand if you like where you are, so we can get started. I said you can't, unless you know where you're at, you can't leave from there to go somewhere else. Make sense? So right now, millions of you, billions of you are suffering from a loss-seeking cancer that is a brainchild of your ego. So it doesn't serve you, it serves your ego. And there's many, many, many things that you need to understand about your own anatomy. You have no clue about your psychic anatomy at all, and very little about the interaction in your physiological anatomy. So the way things work is really beyond you right now, and you're all basically witless. Whatever you're doing, all of you are doing it for a living. You're doing it for pence, and so you suck whoever's dick is going to pay you, basically, and make nice about it. And so, but this loss-seeking cancer, worse than cancer, that's eating away at the vital chi that you're gifted with as a human being. You're living half of your intended lifespan, generally. Understand? Everything you do is perverted. Everything. Especially the so-called helpers. This is one I want to address today, that those who help the less fortunate. They're basically a collection of thieves who found not a great way to make a ton of money, but a way to make a lot more money than they should for their whole lifespan. So they don't get to steal they don't get to have the big enchilada, but they get to do nothing, exert as little energy, as little creative output as they possibly can, and still show up at work once in a while and pick up a paycheck. And there's billions of you doing this, and you're condition for fulfillment is the loss you're able to cause others. Doesn't matter what the justification is, doesn't matter who's right, who's wrong. If you are doing it, you are making yourself and everyone around you ill. And women are enormously prone to this practice. They've considered themselves without power for so long, any kind of grip on any kind of power whatsoever, and they want to milk it to death. Power is to be used creatively. It's not something to get stoned on. So we have power-hungry women who are basically females that are unsatisfied sexually, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. Women are born to be adored, and most every woman that I've met started out being worthy of adoration. Everyone, fat, skinny, tall, short, pretty, not so pretty, plain, really, really bright, and mentally retarded. All of them start out with beauty inside of them. And through their own experience of loss, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not rich enough, my daddy's not influential enough, whatever your loss is, will make you ill. You'll start getting jealous of others who have what you think you should have because of whatever reason you've concocted in the story, the fiction you like to tell yourselves. But this is a very, to live without worshiping the truth is a very, very, very expensive way to live. It will cost you any love in your life at all whatsoever. Women and men. So, if you're seeking the loss of another, man, son of a bitch, got an attitude, get even with him, fuck him up somehow. And women in concert have created sympathies to this stuff. Like, women are very, 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 very dangerous individuals. And very, very powerful. As sickening beings. But a woman who has transformed herself and who's let go of her law-seeking and experiences the health, the physical, the mental, emotional, and spiritual, and financial health ensuant as a consequence of that process. Will experience a vitality unlike she's ever known. That's just one little chunk of enlightenment purchased for yourself. There's lots to do, but this one phenomenon, this one thing, if I can get you to see that when you sit around and fantasize about causing someone else loss, decrease, in any way whatsoever, you diminish yourself in your own eyes to start with, because it's contrary to the perfect integrity that's born in you to begin with, the thing that makes you beautiful to start with, especially when you're young. You haven't betrayed your own genius, as the ancient Greeks would have it. You know, when in ancient Greece, when men were found to be lying, they were said to have betrayed their genius, belittled themselves socially. Like, it was not something, even 40 years ago, it was not something for a man to be found lying. It was really an issue. And today it's taken for granted. It's expected, especially in courts of law, and especially by the police. You're lying yourselves to death. And you don't see it. You're so thick. You have no spiritual grip whatsoever and no spiritual availability. So your life is a pretense and there's no condition of satisfaction for you. Do you understand? There's reasons and there's logic to the art of creation, the gift of creation. There's a poetry inbuilt into this thing that we're living, and we're missing it. I'm your king. Please listen to me. I'll do you some good. Give up lost seeking. See if you can. Let me know how you do.